To the room on a Sunday afternoon, and it's Nyo Weekly. Lower in the boom.
Make some noise for your host, Nico.
Lower in the boom.
Make some noise for the OG.
Lower in the boom.
950 Cab.
Lower in the boom.
And TJ Jones.
Lower in the boom. Step into the room on a Sunday afternoon, and it's Nyo Weekly. Lower in the boom. Step into the room on a Sunday afternoon, and it's Nyo Weekly. Lower in the boom.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to NYO Weekly. You know, we before noon today, afternoon today, but it's all good. It's all good. We're here. Myself, 950 Kev. Kev, y'all pulled it off today, huh?
We did it, boy. Listen, I listen. I mean, anybody who follows this knows I'm teaming to my depths a diehard Jet fan.
E. Jones, what up, man?
What up, T.E. Jones? What's going on, Big Dog? You know, obviously, again, you know, this year is about just who you got, what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think obviously Tyrod Taylor is a professional quarterback who, in this level of NFL playing, can easily be your backup, third string guy, as long as he wants to play. Because again, he's a steady force. He can come in and make plays. And today, 19 for 33, 172 yards, a touchdown pass, and one rushing in a rainstorm. Showed he can play. A.D. Mitchell, the young man that we got in the Sauce Gardner deal along with the draft picks, has really turned out to be a ball player. He had a pretty good game. John Mechie, another guy the Jets have picked up, another receiver, former Alabama great. He's played well for us. So, you know, you look at this season, and obviously even our defense is still doing what they do, even losing Quentin Williams and Sauce. And you say to yourself, okay, you know what? We found some diamonds in the rough, guys who are, I would say not superstars, but they're glue guys. We know we have an older quarterback. We understand the situation when Justin Fields does not work out. You just let it go. But I think, again, with the draft capital, depending on what you see throughout the rest of the season and what you think you might need in the draft, you can go do that. Your offensive line is pretty much solidified. Maybe need some pieces here or there. Again, receiver, probably defensive back, and quarterback, obviously. So we'll see how that plays out. I would prefer the Jets to go after a QB that's in the league already, maybe somebody who they've identified as solid. I'm just not sold on the 2026 crop of quarterbacks coming out of college. We'll see how the combine and the workouts go, but I would prefer, if you take those picks, let's go see what we can pluck out of somebody else's camp for those draft picks. You know, obviously go draft a quality receiver. Now, where am I getting that young man you guys got? You know, yeah, we're not getting him. So I'm just saying the door's open for a lot of things.
Him and
well, Jeremiah's got another year.
him and Garrett. Hey,
yes, that would be fantastic. And then obviously you add in what we got with Mechie now and A.D. Mitchell, and you know, now it's not a pretty bad, you know, and Mason Taylor, and it's not necessarily a bad passing group, but nevertheless, big win. As a Jet fan, you just enjoy the victories when they come, so it's a nice win.
No, you're right. I feel you, dog. I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just based on the team right now, what's the first thing you hope they select in the draft?
Well, again, I mean, obviously, I'm going to equate draft and free agency into one lump, right, into one ball.
Right.
You have to address the quarterback position. Now, again, I'm not fond of the drafty quarterbacks, but again, when you got 2 1s and 2 2s over the next couple of years, you can roll dice. Maybe a Mac Jones. I don't know what Cleveland's long term with Shador is. There are guys out here. The young what's the kid's name that was with the Niners and now with the Chargers? Trey Lance. I would like to see them try to look at those options because those are young quarterbacks who necessarily are not going to be anywhere, in play because the franchises they're with. Even though y'all laugh at me, I mean Joe Burrow, who was diamond the other night, again, if Cincy tanks out, do they look to make a move long term and say, hey, let's go get a franchise quarterback in the draft and start fresh? Because you got a lot of pieces that necessarily you're going to have to give off. So I'm just saying that's what I would do first.
Yeah.
Is kind of look around the league and see who's out there that is maybe under 27 that, still has, we identified as a quality quarterback. I really don't want any more stopgaps if we can help it. But if we had to go that route, maybe, a Jacoby Brissett, a Jameis Winston, and if you're going to draft the quarterback, 2027 will be the draft. So I'd like to see, like the kid Cornell from Ohio State, a big time receiver, or go after again that DB. You guys saying Ohio State, you guys got ball players. That DB kid, forgot his name.
You talking about Caleb?
Yeah, he's probably a first round pick. So again, like I said, there's a lot of options to go, but obviously first and foremost, you have to address the QB situation. But I like what the organization is going. I think Aaron Glenn has gotten better over the last 2 months. And Darren Muji, I think, for a young GM, has made some nice moves.
No, I feel you. I understand wholeheartedly. I think the reason why, like myself, laughed when you mentioned Joe, because I think it's just me. I think it's no way in hell Cincinnati coming up off of them unless you just
2 1s,
give them an offer they can't refuse.
2 1s, 2 2s with a team that's probably going to draft in the top 10. I'm just saying, if you look at the Bengals now, right?
Would you trade first round picks, or how would you do that? Like try to get there, all right, let's swap picks.
For him, I give him what they want. I wouldn't even care about swapping the picks. Okay. I would just want to keep if I'm going to trade for Burrow. And again, now we're talking about negotiation. I know people don't want to hear
Ty?
Don't want to hear this, but if I'm going to make that trade, I'm going to trade my 1 and my 2. I'm going to try to keep something because, again, the guys had injury concerns as well. So, again, it's a negotiation, right? So you're going to say, hey, well, he's a great talent when he's upright, but he's not always been playing. But, again, if I traded a 1 for a team that necessarily has got to make what they got now, they're too top heavy, right? They don't have a defense. Defense is worse than the league. I know they played well the other night, but that's just one game. Worst defense in the league. They have some issues on the offensive line, and they got their top heavy with 2 big contracts at receiver. That's not winning you nothing. I understand there's Bengal fans who would not want that trade to happen. They love Joe Burrow, and I get that. But you're in purgatory because you're not going anywhere with that team. That's going to be a 6-7 win team every year because, again, you got a quarterback who we love and I would love to have, but he has injury history. And then you got 2 receivers, and we all know the receivers need a quarterback to get them the ball, right?
Yeah.
And then your defense is trash. As you would say, trash. Defense is horrible.
Well, as I imitate Ed Reed.
I know, but I prefer when you So I'm just making a point that, hey, listen, you have to look at these things from a full tilt. And that's just, now, another guy, and I know Jet fans might look at me and laugh, but Anthony Richardson. Here's a guy that, you won't have to give up. No, I don't think you got to give up a first, probably give up a third. You bring him in, and maybe you say, hey, we'll bring in Richardson, and we'll bring in another vet, and we'll let him compete. But again, he's still a young player. And obviously, again, he's got a lot of talent, got a lot of skills. You just have to mold that. But if you ask me, from what's in the draft and going 2026, the kid Mendoza, people are talking about him. Alabama's quarterback, Collins. I'm not sold. Drew Allen.
Go ahead and get Pavia, man, out of Vanderbilt. Go ahead, man.
Pavia's not an NFL quarterback. Pavia will serve himself well going to CFL.
Come on. He could be for y'all what Jackson Dart is for the Giants.
Now, we'll take his mama, but we ain't
why would you say
that? Joking. Mama's on point. But Pavia, I love Diego Pavia. I think he's a great college quarterback. Wow. He's not an NFL quarterback. No.
Well, hopefully he don't see this clip.
Well, listen,
I'll reach out tomorrow.
Listen, I'm just complimenting the mama on my taste. I'm just saying, mama's a good-looking woman. What's the podcaster that's hanging around her all the time? So the guy Vaughn or Van, the one. Yeah. So
I remember seeing that, but I forget.
Right. So what I'm saying is that hey, I'm not disrespecting nobody, and nobody trying to take Beyonce from Jay. I'm just making a point that hey, we got to make a pick. If I had to pick a Pavia, it wouldn't be Diego. It would be Mama Pavia. But no, he's not an NFL quarterback.
All right. I feel you. I understand. So
this before we move on, I'm sorry. This would have to be the greatest pick. Making that quarterback decision. This will define the Jets for the next decade because we've lost. When you drafted, Zach Wilson, and previous to that Sam Donald, and those didn't work out. It hasn't. The program has been in neutral since 2018. It's now 2025, 7 years. We're almost at a decade. So you gotta hit right on that. But we'll move on from there.
No, I get you. Well, and better news. The Bears are currently the number 1 seed in the NFC after, I think I can speak for the world when nobody thought the Rams would lose to Carolina today. Like, of all the teams the Rams lose to, none against Carolina, but you lose to the Carolina Panthers. Although I saw, too, that Matt Stafford had like 3 picks. 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. I don't know how you do that.
And you can't win football games like that. But big shout to Bryce Young. I mean, listen, he's a guy that pretty much people thought was a bust.
They definitely wrote him off after that first year. Boy.
And he has really balled out. And that's a team that's 7-6 and right in the playoff hunt in the South. So, again, a team having to go west. A Western team going east, playing a 1:00 Eastern kickoff.
Oh, my bad. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Right.
He was also sacked twice, Matt Stafford.
Right, but they were early. But you think about a West Coast team having to go east, playing the 1:00 Eastern window, and on top of that, playing a rainstorm. Now, I'm not making excuses for the Rams, but it's any given Sunday. And like I said, Carolina really balled out.
Bryce did well though, 15 for 20, 206, 3 touchdowns.
That's a professional quarterback. He's making plays. I think again, it's just Chuba Hubbard had a pretty decent game. I mean, 2 for 41, a touchdown.
Adderall had 1 catch, 43 yards, and a touchdown.
Right. So again, it's just a team that is young. And they're playing for something. And I think, again, a perfect storm, West Coast team coming east, holiday week as well, not to mention a rainstorm in Charlotte equals to a Panthers victory and good for them.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree. I 100% agree. And like you say, man, it was just a good win for them. A day like, especially after the way they looked Monday. We all watched that game, and
they didn't really play. They didn't really play bad Monday.
They did the same thing they did to Matt today. They did to Brock. They just didn't get the ball in the end zone.
True, but that's a young team, right? It's not like they had a situation where you looked at them and said, wow, they just were outclassed. It's just obviously they made some bonehead plays, and a veteran team like the Niners would take advantage of that. That's very similar to how the Niners and Cleveland's game today. When you looked at the game, it wasn't like Cleveland was outclassed. It's just that their special teams were trash. And the reality is that cost the Niners the game. I mean, cost Cleveland any chance of being in the game. 2 big fourth downs that they went for in short yardage and lost on. And, you know, Shador, while he didn't play bad, he had a touchdown. Really, the game was out of control because once you now the defense knows in a really cold, windy day in Cleveland that you can only throw the ball, well, then, hey, I'm going to sit in that cover 3 and make you beaten with your arm. Now what Cleveland does very well, that running game is taken away because you know you have to pass. So back to the Panthers, same thing with the Niners last week. And young teams, if they're all locked in, will learn from the mistakes, make the adjustment, and capitalize.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey man, it's been a crazy year for, you know, my team in particular, because I thought they would win a total of 9 games, and I didn't think they would have it before the beginning of December. But they look good. You know, I can't say no more. You know, you just hope that, you know, Caleb keeps developing. You know, because some of them, if he can start to hit some of them layups and the defense plays mistake-free, offense plays mistake-free, we're going to be a hard team to beat, not just even for this year, but for years to come.
Well, I think, again, you're
right, Bill. It's still a lot of season to go. You're right, 100%.
You got the head coach, and you got a quarterback to me that, you know, wow. The casual, and I'm going to call it what it is, the casual, they look at stats, and they don't really watch the game. That's why the stats are important. I get that. But stats don't tell the game. And Caleb Williams is a guy that, again, like I mentioned to you last year, I don't know why they didn't get rid of Eberflus last year. Now, it all has worked out because you wouldn't have had Ben Johnson last year. You got Ben Johnson this year, and pretty much has helped Caleb now really his maturation as a quarterback has really developed and grown. But, you know, people wanted to put him to bed early, like, oh, he's not the guy, and this and that. And, you know, again, no disrespect to Jaden Daniels and, you know, some of those other guys, CJ Stroud, but, you know, we anointed those guys quickly. And while Jaden, again, people get hurt, 100% opportunity, 100% risk you're going to get hurt in the NFL. He's a guy that's probably has to, you know, get a little stronger. Caleb comes in the league, NFL body, ready to take the pounding, just didn't have the right offensive setup. He's now got that. And you see, hey, listen, when you have a balanced attack, can play great defense, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. This is not college football. You're not going to sit back and throw for 400 yards a game and carry teams on your back. That's not going to happen. They're just too good of players, too good of staffs. And I think we've noticed in that because even myself, I've criticized quarterback play in the NFL, right? And said, like, you know, some of these guys, we worship a guy if he throws for 205 yards. Oh, he had a great game. But the way, again, the defenses and the fact that I give defenses a lot of credit because you can't do the same things you can once do. You can't, you know, you can't hold. I mean, you can't, you know, hold, can't hit the same in the middle. The fear factor of somebody having like the fear of going across the middle is going that, you know, boxing under 5 yards, you know, really, you know, being able to put your hands on people you can't do anymore. But again, it goes to show that if you have a balanced situation, you can win games. You don't have to just rely on the quarterback. And because I think the quarterback plays in the greatest, you have to have a balanced situation. And you guys have got that. And I think you benefited. But on the flip side, you know, your schedule is not easy. You got the Packers 2 out of next 3 weeks. You got to go to Frisco after Christmas. And you finish the season with Detroit. Now, Detroit, I think.
We still got the Browns. Ain't they like top top 5 in
Yeah,
defense.
defense. I think again, you have the Browns at home, and while listen, that's my adopted. I'm rooting for Shador, like a lot of folks. I don't think they come into Chicago and win that game. Their defense is great, and they run the ball well. But you're asking a kid to, and you know how that weather is because you're from there. You're asking somebody to come into a really windy situation in December. That's not happening. And again, if I'm the Bears, I know that I got to just start Quinshon Junkins and the other kid Simpson, the other rookie, and I'm good on that Cleveland situation. So I think again the games that you got to focus on are the next 3 weeks, 2 out of 3 weeks. You got the home and home with your rival, the Packers. If you can split that, I know you want to win them all, but I'm saying if you can split that.
I mean, like I said, they would be before the season started. I said they would be 9-8, and they need to split the division.
Yeah.
Now you already got 2 losses.
Right.
Already done lost to Minnesota, Detroit.
If you win 3 out the next, because what is it? 5 games. You go 2-3 and 2 the next 5 weeks. You win the division.
Three division games, and then San Fran
and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Detroit, I think, even though Detroit's from Detroit, they play indoors. I think you can beat Detroit the last game of the year. You split with Green Bay, and you beat either Cleveland or San Fran, and you're Central, North Division champs.
Yeah, NFC, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I ain't putting the cart before the horse.
And again, that's
keep doing what they're doing.
And that's the type of team very similar to Buffalo and another cold weather cities that you want to have a home game because that weather plays to your advantage in January. I mean, it really does. I mean, like I said, it wasn't cold in Charlotte. It was just really inclement with the rain, and the Rams were off their game. Again, I've always said that dome teams and warm weather teams, you gotta. I mean, obviously, I know the Niners win a couple years ago and beat Green Bay.
Well, that and when Tom Brady and them did it, and his first year in Tampa.
That happened, right? You get that once in a while, but if I got to take the whole of parts in the numbers game, I'll take that. If I'm a cold weather team, maybe that warm weather team's a little bit more talented than us. I'll take that and see how the weather can help. I think the weather is good for at least 4 to 7 points in the game situation.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
But what about
another news?
College thing, man? This Lane Kiffin thing, which I think is kind of crazy.
Man, I was just about to. What happened? So, not even what happened, but like we talked about, I think he should have stayed at Ole Miss. Now this is just me, but what can Ole Miss? What can LSU give you that Ole Miss hasn't already?
Well,
because now you in the pressure cooker. If you ain't winning, or at least in that playoff next year or the year after, then it's like maybe we made the wrong decision. That's my only thing. That's my only thing.
I mean, listen, let's talk about it from two schools, right? Mississippi, Ole Miss, Louisiana State University, LSU. They're not far apart, both in the same conference. But traditionally, more athletes come from the state of Louisiana than they come from Mississippi.
For sure.
Right? Traditionally, LSU is probably one of the top 5 jobs in the sport. Traditionally, right? So what comes with a lot of tradition comes with a lot of what's given, much is required, right? So you have to win those games, right? You have to, 9 wins is not enough. And Lane pretty much built what Ole Miss was. I mean, years ago when I was playing ball, Ole Miss was kind of like, you went there just for the good time at the Grove, and they be happy just going to the Independence Bowl. I mean, that's what it was. And they rarely, again, Lane won the most games ever. They never won 11 games, 11-1 right now. So he built that. So most people would say, wow, you built this situation, right? And why would you leave? Now, on the flip side, LSU, you can get more traditionally, but we're not in traditional times anymore, right? So what LSU was given, Lane could have got at Ole Miss. Now people will say, "Oh yeah, the high school kids because LSU has a deeper pool," and I get that they do, but Lane is one of these guys that Lane's kind of a one-on-one, right? Very similar to how people kind of use Dion, the flair and the swag. Lane is kind of a one-of-one. So he was doing the job, right? He was proving that you can win at Ole Miss. I mean, LSU they paid pretty penny for their coach. They got to pay out a $50 million buyout for Brian Kelly. So while yes, I agree with you, Suave, I think he should have stayed too. But it doesn't matter about staying or leaving. It's the way he handled it that I have a problem with.
He handled it very poorly.
Right. So anybody's got the right to take a job or not take a job. Again, traditionally LSU is a better job. That's traditionally, but we're not in traditional time. But what I have
look at that. What do you think about that comment? I mean, yeah, that's the obvious.
Well, yeah, that again, I agree.
In the pressure.
Traditionally, it's a better job, right? Pretty much 3 of the last 4 coaches have all won natties, right? Saban, Les Miles, Orgeron. The only one that didn't get it was Brian Kelly. It's traditionally a better job, but we're not in traditional times anymore. Those guys went at LSU before NIL, right? Yeah. So now we in NIL and transfer portal, right? So the situation is that, I can get more homegrown talent to go to Louisiana State, now can it get to Ole Miss? But he was proving it wrong. The guys had, he had a rough season last year with a lot of talent, but he was showing that you can win at Ole Miss. Yeah. And they pretty much were going to give him the $25 million NIL budget, which is what he's getting at LSU. They was going to give him more money. Maybe LSU can probably have paid him more. I think he's getting at a $100 million contract, right? I don't know the amount.
Something like 13 a year or something.
Something like that. Now he probably made a few more dollars, but I don't think Lane, not to count Lane's pocket, but Lane's not hurting for $1. So this wasn't about money. I just think it's a situation where, yes, you're entitled to go where you want, control your own life. Who could tell somebody what to do with their own coaching path? But what my issue was the way he handled it, because what I heard was, and it was all speculation at this point, is that Lane wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Lane wanted to finish the job at Ole Miss, coach that team in the playoffs. So you're working for Ole Miss in the daytime, and then recruit for LSU. Remember, the transfer portal opens up on Wednesday, so that's the window opens up Wednesday. So how you going to coach for me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm getting ready for a playoff run, and there's other schools giving me $13 million. They don't really want to hear it. Yeah, LSU didn't mind him coaching, because what that does is give LSU an opportunity to pluck those kids, to say, hey, you know what? Oh, let's see what Suave can do. Oh, Suave had a big game in the playoffs. Let's go get him in the transfer portal, because remember that 30-day window is still open when your head coach leaves. So I think a lot of people are saying, oh, they should have let him continue. I feel like, if I catch my lady in the bed with somebody, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to let you get your nut off, and then I'll come back when you're done, and we'll talk about this amicably. No, if you're trying to leave, then leave. Just go. You can't have it both ways. So then you're going to say, well, you know what? You're telling your coaches 4 weeks before Christmas, well, if you don't come with me, you ain't going to have a job. So that's pretty much sabotage right there. And Lane Kiffin's the only coach I know that can burn a bridge down and still stand on it to see if the bridge works. He's just a unique individual, but we'll see how it works next year. They do have to go to Oxford next year, LSU. They've hired their DC. They've moved their DC up to their
yeah, I saw that. They say he the interim, but he might be the permanent.
Permanent. They made him the permanent.
Well, they already did.
Figured that he probably figured, hey, listen, if you want me to be an interim, and the guy that's offering me, the opportunity to go to LSU probably for a pretty penny, right, just saying, hey, he ain't trying to take nobody if they don't come with him. I'm not sticking around. So they probably had no choice
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I said last week. Is it the same team? Because remember, 2 years ago, what the committee did to Florida State is the same team without Lane Kiffin. They also took Charlie Weiss Jr., who's their OC. He jumped on the plane too this afternoon. So is it the same team from the regular season to the playoffs? The precedent's already been set by Florida State with their quarterback. So is the same team. People will say, well, the committee saw Florida State play, and they haven't seen Ole Miss play without Lane because they're not in the SEC championship. But again, when you put ADs and head coaches in a room, will they hold that against them? Now, I don't think they take them out the playoffs, but they're 11-1, right? But they were probably I think between a 5 and 7 seed, which means they would have got a home playoff game. They probably drop under 8 and have to go on the road.
Yeah. And like I told you, I think no matter what, if he left or if he stayed, they should go to the playoffs. And although they may not make it, but they deserve their place, in the playoffs. They've done enough to be there. But it does look bad because one of the ESPN correspondents, Marty Smith, they was asking him all day yesterday. They was college game day. They check in with him. Seemed like every 30 minutes, like, hey, you got anything yet? He like, I text him, he ain't respond. So it's like
let him go home and shower and get a meal in them. But the reality is that Ole Miss, they're not. Well, I don't think Lane handled it the right way. I don't think Ole Miss handled it the right way either, because you had to know that this could happen, right? That's just like, again, like that something could happen, right? They're telling you it's going to be a hurricane, but it's sunny today. It's sunny. It's 85 degrees, but the weather person is telling you there might be a hurricane in a couple of days. You should prepare. Go to the grocery store, whatever. And you go, I'm at the pool. It's 80 degrees. It's sunny.
Right. I'll be all right.
Right. So you have to prepare for this. Now, maybe they did. Maybe this was all along their game plan that, hey, we're going to take the DC and we're going to run with it. We're going to bring Joe Judge, who's a former Giant coach, who's actually one of the, assistant, not a coach, but what they call those, whatever, like, off the field coach, right?
Right.
A correspondent,
Real
whatever.
Quick, yeah. We having this conversation. You've met him before.
Okay.
My big brother, the college coach.
Okay.
Coach Jake. Coach Jack.
What's up?
How you doing, sir?
What's going on?
Just finished his first season at Lindenwood.
Yeah.
St. Charles, Missouri. So, they just finished.
Winning record. We had a winning record in the FCS. So.
Congrats.
Yeah.
So, Bill, I need you to do one thing.
What you need me to do?
You to scoot a little more to there you go, right there.
All right.
So the logo ain't blocking your face, dog.
Got the nice backdrop. He good. He got the backdrop. He ready to go.
Yeah. Hey, when I went to the house, I was like, look at this.
You know what? I had to reshape a lot of things right here, but so I'm gonna take this somewhere else.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta do it.
But that works, coach. It gives definition to the wall. It gives definition.
Appreciate it.
But Bill, what you got on this? Because you were saying we get it, and I get it. It's a better job, better access, but it's also gonna bring a lot more pressure. They ain't trying to hear, I gotta get dog. They just fired Brian Kelly mid-season.
Okay. But can anybody tell me the reason why they fired Brian Kelly?
He was never the right fit there anyway.
That's number one. Everybody give me anything else?
Kev would know.
For course. He was a couple of incidences that happened that wasn't a good, but he didn't win enough games on the field either. But there was some things that he just never fit. When he first got hired and said, "My family," it was all downhill from there.
It was all downhill from there. All downhill. So let me ask you this:
Mhm.
does Lane Kiffin fit LSU?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
He's
All right.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
now that we've got that out of the way,
Yeah.
all right.
Hmm.
As far as him going to Ole Miss, and of course him being at Ole Miss, you know, for 5 years, winning a lot of games, right?
Hmm.
Hey, thanks for getting me back on track the way I needed to be.
Right.
But historically speaking, I know you mentioned about historical facts not being present, in
Right.
today in 2025. But historically speaking, would you rather take Ole Miss or would you rather take LSU?
Historically, LSU's a better job.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're batting 1,000. We're on the same page. All I'm
All
saying,
right.
we're not in traditional times. Most of these kids are coming
Correct.
to you because what's the NIL look like? It used to be a time where hey, you had the great facilities. I remember going to kids I coached. Some schools had waterfalls and all type of things at their facilities, and eating steak and lobster every night. Now it's like okay, all these schools have GMs. It's an NFL model. What am I getting paid?
Yep.
um, and how fast I'm going to play. As a
Yep.
coach, you know that. So again, LSU traditionally had more money. Louisiana is a great pool for high schools, high school talent, and then right next to Texas and Florida. Perfect university, a blue blood university. But again, the Ole Miss thing is a situation where you built it, right? You pretty much built it. They give you everything you want. Now you can it's America, the right to make a move because you feel like you want to have maybe better access. You want to have a situation where you can recruit better. I don't have to go in the transfer portal heavy like he had to do at Ole Miss. I get all that, but it's a way of doing it and it's a way of not doing it. When you're trying to take hostage the university, saying, you know what, well, if you don't come with me now, then don't look for me in January. I'm gonna hire somebody else. Or if you missed the AD, if you don't let me coach out, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna burn the bridge down. It's things like that. You can't tell me you love me, love these players. I love my players, and I don't get my way. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna light the match. I'm gonna be the Joker, and like when the Joker was leaving the hospital, and I'm gonna hit that button until it blows all up. Because that's how I look at it. Like you can't have it both ways. All right, Lane, I get it. They didn't want to follow your method. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. They didn't agree with that. There's obviously some feelings involved because Oxford is not far from Baton Rouge and in the same division in the SEC. I get that. But the way of handling things, I think, is the problem. That's all I have my issue, Coach. I think it's a better program. I think he'll win there. I don't think he's worried about, not competing. He's kind of an A-type mentality, and he's probably one of the characters in the sport where you add that type of swagger and what LSU can provide them in recruiting. It's a match made in heaven. It's just the way you leave. That's my only issue.
When Steve Jobs was fired from Apple,
Mm-hmm.
um, did he take a sledgehammer basically and gut everything before he took it back over?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Okay. Steve, so if you ever seen the many biopics of Apple and Steve Jobs that are out there, so basically they outed him
Right.
and he proceeded to take everything back and let everybody go
Mm-hmm.
that outed him. And he started basically Apple over
Right.
into his vision, right? He built it. If you've built something and they won't give you what you need in order to keep going,
Mm-hmm.
would you blow it up? And would you say start over yourself?
But
I
that's
did this.
the thing, Coach. They gave him everything he wanted. It's
Okay.
just like if you got a wife at home, right? Better example. You got a wife at home, and you saying, "Hey, honey, you gain a little weight." She gets to the gym, or "Hey, honey, you know what? You don't cook the same," and she starts making gourmet meals. But it's something about the big booty at the club that just keeps calling you. Like, I got everything at home I need. I got a woman who loves me. She cooks. She's done what I asked her to do. But the attraction just to leave the house because I got to leave the house because people are telling me, yo, that's it out there. That's the situation I look at with Lane. He has the same NIL, but they $25 million at LSU, $25 million at Ole Miss, right? they would have gave him an increase. Now I don't know if they would have gave him 13, but I think the way they've been talking, they probably would have tried to match the money. So it really wasn't about money. You're in the same conference, you're in the SEC West, and that's the only thing. It wasn't a situation I like the coach from USF that went to Goulish that went to Auburn or Sutherfield. They moved up the ladder. You can't knock that. But this is like splitting hairs, and you have the right to do it because I think it is a better job. But they gave him everything that you wanted.
But if we keep saying that it's a better job and it's better resource and it's better, what's the problem?
But it's only better from traditional. And we're not in traditional times in college sports anymore as college coach. We're not in traditional times. That's what I'm saying. So if you went by the Nick Saban rule, well, yeah, because Nick coached in a pre-NIL era when they were just having the golden envelopes, and we won't talk about that. But nevertheless, all I'm saying is that if you look at tradition, yes, it's a better job, but we're not in traditional times. If I built something and I built it to a point where I'm competing with the big dogs, I beat LSU. I played head-to-head with Georgia. If a couple plays happened last night, I'm playing in Atlanta next Saturday. I just think that, again, you have the right to make your decision, but the way you make your decisions is, I think, kind of killing equity. I mean,
okay, I hear what you said, and I borderline understand and agree. However, I just don't think he would have been able to sustain what he's done in Ole Miss for a long amount of time. And in LSU, you don't have to sustain what he did,
right.
right? He built that team off the portal. Whereas when you go to LSU, you build it off of the brand of LSU number one. You get those high school recruits, and you supplement the spots that you need with the portal,
Yes. True indeed.
right?
Yep.
And I believe that this was a long term like mindset move. How can within the next 4 years, I'm not saying he's going to win a national championship, but he got a way better shot now than
Right.
he did at Ole Miss.
Agreed. Last thing before we move on from that is that this is a guy that's not used to being told no, right? He pretty much ran the show. He's going to get told no in Baton Rouge once in a while. Number one,
are we sure?
I believe so because of that structure, because they've had 3 national championship coaches over the last 20 years. Somebody's going to tell him no eventually. If he's not going to be able to move the way he moved at at Ole Miss. And number two, and probably most important thing, his track record shows he likes new couches. So let's say in 4 years, the Dallas Cowboys come calling, or hey, Tampa Bay, where your father was a legend here. I'm just saying he's not the type of guy. We'll find out. Only time will tell. That hey, I want to be the next Joe Paterno. Or I want to ride here for 20 years. And
Not many coaches in this profession are,
right.
especially once you get to that level, right? But LSU, if you win,
Yeah,
if you do what you're supposed to do, LSU is one of those jobs that we all look at as like, man, I could be here for a long time,
it's one of
right?
the top 5 in the sport, no question.
This, like you said, blue blood, of course,
Yeah,
right? So I don't put it past somebody like a Lane to be all in and be good where he's at an LSU,
right.
right? We can say what it is, but it's a different animal than Ole Miss.
I agree.
Completely different animal.
I agree with that. Swab, where you go?
I'm here. Got these headphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, Bill. Man, like I told Kev, I think going to LSU is similar to going to the Lakers. They accept nothing, and but they don't know, but I know you're a big Kobe, and they ain't gonna accept nothing less than
Then a
chip.
championship.
Right.
And
True
that's
indeed.
the thing that he ain't
What
got.
what more? What more could you ask for, though?
Right.
But also,
Right.
it's like, well, fam, we ain't trying to hear I made it to Atlanta. We could care less. If you ain't one of them 12,
Right.
what
And that,
what are we talking
I
about?
think I think he knows that. I think he's wired to a level where he likes that challenge. I think that's why he's a one-on-one coach, right? So I give him that. He's not shaking in his pants because of that. He embraces that, So I give him that. I just think like all the talk, and I could be wrong. I just think he knew what he was doing from the start, and it's just like he just didn't get his way because they came to him. The school came to him and said, "Well, you got to make a decision after the Egg Bowl." It wasn't him. The school kind of told him that. He probably people are
real quick.
Okay.
To the point you just made, Kev, Vel, if you was on that staff, that Ole Miss staff, what would you have rather him do?
Whatever was best for him and his family. Because
Because
here's the thing. Here's and this is me speaking from a guy who's coaching in college football, right?
yeah,
Like there will be some casualties to this.
yeah,
There will be. Not everybody might not go with him, right?
yeah,
And everybody might not be retained who was on that last staff, right? There will be some. But at the end of the day, he's got to make a decision for him and his family and the way
yeah,
that he's going about doing business, right? And let the chips fall where they may. So what would I rather him done? Be
yeah.
honest with me, number one. What are you gonna do? So then I can start to get my ducks in a row, regardless if I'm going with you or not.
Right.
No, I get it.
That's the part. And I'm again, obviously, we're all speculating. The media speculates, but as long as those coaches knew what the deal was, and again, you know who you work for, and he's been
Right.
about this thing since
That part.
October, right? So,
Yeah, and there's a video out now. I just sent it to both of y'all. Ole Miss fans are booing them at the airport.
well,
I mean, hey, you gotta upgrade.
Look,
I ain't,
Tennessee booed him for a long time too. You think he cared?
Didn't they build
so,
what is it called? One of those plants that get rid of waste. Now they wanted to name it after Lane.
Yeah. Like what are like come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. He ain't worried about that. And
He ain't worried about that. He don't care.
And it won't matter anyway.
Yeah. So we're gonna see, man. We shall see. We shall see. Vale, what your Ravens gonna do, man? Y'all lost Thanksgiving night. But how do you turn this around?
You're just gonna remind me of that, huh? This is the first
Hey,
time
man.
I've actually gotten to sit down and like enjoy football, in a long time without having to worry about coaching it. And I will say that I was rather disappointed, but we'll see, man. We got some time, got a couple games left, and hopefully we figure it out.
Yeah.
Coach, you think Lamar is injured? Because it seems like he's just playing a different style of football. Now I understand, like, guys, the NFL they hit different, and I get that. So maybe he's like, I'm trying not to be a runner, but it just seemed like that's one of his superpowers. The kind of
you can only take so many hits, though.
Right. Yeah.
You can only take like they say, boxers got a punch card.
Right.
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 QB's got one too. You take so many of them things, you end up on the shelf permanently.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for not taking off when he didn't have to. Right? He's trying to sit in the pocket, trying to make the right reads. Trying to deliver the football to his playmakers, put the ball in playmakers' hands, and obviously when we get to playoff time, if and when we make it, all right, then that's when the juice starts to get turned up. But ultimately, man, you still have to rely on those that are around you to make the plays that they're supposed to make when they're supposed to make them.
Right. Well, I don't think the Steelers are going to run away. And since he had a nice night, I don't think that's the norm because their defense is horrible. And we can talk about Cleveland and the fighting Shadors. That's just for love. So I think that Baltimore is still the best team in that division and still a team, in my opinion, you would not want to play in January because they are battle tested. So, I think, they had the injuries. They're now trying to get back. Joe Burrow had a magical night on Thanksgiving. But I think when you look at the totality of the next 5 weeks, I think Baltimore will still win that division and will be a tough out. And I don't know if they're going to get to Frisco, but they'll be a tough out in the playoffs.
Baltimore's had Joe Burrow's had Baltimore's number for quite some time. Like, listen, I'm calling a spade is what it is, right? And I don't see too many more now that it's on the line right now. And when it's on the line, big time players will step up and make the big time plays they need to. So I think when it's all said and done, you'll see those Ravens in the playoffs.
Okay. What about them Wolverines? When they gonna get to the playoffs?
Well, they just won a chip a couple years ago. Like, damn.
Hey, let me explain something to you, man. Let me explain something to you. You've been waiting for this one. Let me explain something to you.
You and that other one.
You know what I said? You know what I said afterwards? I said, you know what, man? It's about time. I'm starting to feel sorry for good old
Oh
Coach
my
Day.
God.
I was starting to feel sorry for him, man.
If he
I
don't
get it. He
play,
won a natty and whatnot, but it was just something about him not being able to beat the Wolverines.
no. He
You know?
beat him. He just hadn't beat
I
him.
thought about you in the first quarter when they had that interception. That's like, oh Lord, that's fly.
No, you know what?
You
I was
know,
like, you know what I said? I'd rather him throw that now, early in the game, than later.
and you just trying to tell yourself that to convince yourself.
No,
It's okay.
no.
But you rather him not throw one at all, period. But he did. It's
They
okay.
won. They won.
Now,
What you say?
I
What's
would.
that thing you say? Winners win.
Oh yeah, because that's what winners do. All right. And it's all good. What did I tell you? What I tell you as soon as they won the game? Hey, good game. About time. But you're getting ready to get bounced out the playoffs.
By who? By Indiana? Oh,
Absolutely.
oh my God! Come on, man. Mendoza. Okay, we shall see. You muted. Oh, he helping. He talking.
Nah, yeah, my kids, man, my kids.
No, you good. You good. But yeah, man, it's not serious question though. How long do they give Sharon? Like, say,
let's
Michigan.
let's hold on now. Let's be
I'm just
realistic
asking.
about this.
I'm just asking. Just
Like
based off, you know.
the national championship year, even though it was Harbaugh's,
Mm-hmm.
that was Sharon.
6 wins.
I agree.
That was Sharon.
I agree.
The head coach.
Coach was did a really good job with that football team,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, he won 9 games this year.
But a lot of
Last
people
year,
could also say that was with Harbaugh's kids too.
But he won
that
9
freshman
No,
freshman
I'm just
quarterback
saying.
ain't his.
and starting a bunch of freshmen. I mean, Michigan started
I'm talking about this year.
freshmen? Yeah, I'm talking about this year.
Yeah, this year.
So you think about it, that team is set for the next couple years. So
That's a young team.
right. Michigan is
sure.
a blue blood too. We talked about LSU. Michigan's right there with Ohio State. And I think Sharon will get. I think Sharon's a good coach. I don't think he gets the credit.
It's killing you to hear all of this good Michigan
It's
talk
really
right
not.
now, but it's okay.
I'm neutral. I'm neutral.
It is a
Syracuse guy. But the thing about it is that they started a lot of young players. You guys should have dominated them yesterday. In all due respect, I mean, your number one team. You got like 2 NFL first 5 pick guys on the wings, and your corner
Kind of been like that the last couple of years, but they just hadn't done what they're supposed to do.
right.
And it's about time.
Styles is a top 5 pick. I mean, y'all should have won that game. So what I'm saying is that Michigan team's a young team, and I think Underwood, who I think is going to be really the truth in next
phenomenal.
It's just you ran to a buzzsaw, but I mean, I think Ohio State. The question with them is that can they put together, because they really haven't faced adversity, right? Mm-hmm. And when you get into the playoffs, those SEC schools, and
even next Saturday, Indiana, number 2 team in the country.
I'm curious to see that game.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it because there's gonna be a lot of what they wear, burgundy and scarlet in that
It's
stadium.
A lot of cream. It's a lot of red family colors.
And it's in their backyard. It's in Indianapolis. That ain't far for them.
But y'all travel. Ohio State fans got dough. They travel.
No. That's
so does Indiana when they're good.
I was gonna say, Indiana gonna travel too.
Yeah.
And then it's right, you know, it's a state, it's a home game.
The key will be, because we're in this new world of football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do both teams go all out? Because they're both teams are going to get buys, no matter what happens. Both teams are going to get a buy.
I
You
don't
sure
know,
about that?
because it's weird.
Uh,
I think the
I
loser
think
of that
get a
game
home game.
and the SEC game, the
Mhm.
losers may have to do the wild card, you know, the college football version of the wild card.
Those guys will get home games in the first round.
For sure.
The winners of the championship games will get the bye.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the same way. I
I
think
don't know. I think if it's a close game, I think, let's say it's Indiana loses by a field goal, I don't think they lose the bye.
I can see that situation, but I don't see that being a field goal game.
because currently the top 25, Ohio State, Indiana.
You got to look at the playoff.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just say the top 12.
Yeah.
Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Tech, Mississippi, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Bama, BYU, and Miami.
Take out BYU and Miami. They won't make it.
Well, the reason I did that is because I think the two, whoever wins the SEC and the Big Ten, they get a bye.
Of course.
And I think they may try to give it. I think Tech, if they beat BYU, because then BYU beat them already.
No, I believe Tech is BYU's one loss.
Okay, all right. So if they win again, I think they get a bye. And I don't know who that fourth one will go to though.
It's probably going to. I mean, again, if Bama loses, do you punish a 3-loss Bama for making the championship?
Even though they beat them already,
Bama's gonna make the playoffs.
I was gonna say, even though they beat Georgia already,
Bama's gonna make the playoffs.
So with that being said, let's say Bama. If Bama beats Georgia, does Bama jump into the 4th seed and gets the bye as the SEC champion?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm your only 2 losses.
It'd be a 2-loss Georgia team versus a 2-loss Bama team that won the head-to-head and the SEC championship.
Won the head-to-head twice at the crib. Well, shit, yeah, both of them.
Yeah, they would. In my opinion, they would have every right to jump Georgia.
Okay, so if Georgia wins, then Georgia gets the 3 seed.
Yeah, that's of course.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I just don't know how the committee looks at the Big 12, right? And yeah, you could say about. I think Tech locked in at 5.
I think Tech has done so well, though. You could not deny them a bye.
Tech wins, Tech gets a bye. Now, obviously Oregon being number 4, I don't think that they get.
Because Tech will play BYU again, right?
Yeah, correct.
So if I beat you twice, same thing with Bama and Georgia, dog.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. Now that 4th spot, that's the one though.
Well, they could get it. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I think it could go to the runner-up of the Big Ten if it's a close game.
Depending on how the game.
That's what I'm saying. Because you're not gonna. I don't know. I don't think I don't think a team that doesn't play on championship Saturday should get a bye. I don't think Oregon should get a bye if it's chaos.
No.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. So all right. Well, based off that, who would be y'all for? The winner of the Big Ten.
That's 1.
Winner of the SEC.
Number 2.
Tech, if they win.
I think Tech would be 4. I don't think they would be 3, even if they win.
But I think whoever loses with Ohio State and Indiana, you automatically are knocked out to 4.
Unless there's a blowout, which I don't see happening. I think they would get a bye. And at 3-4, who cares? At that point.
Right.
I think you're gonna have to give Indiana a home game regardless because of the debacle that happened last year, right? And there was enough stink thrown up about it that you got to give them a home game.
When they had to go to Notre Dame?
Yeah,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
They guarantee a home game no matter what. Because
no matter what.
like 5 to 8 plays home. So it's either a bye and go right to a bowl game, the quarterfinals, or play a home game.
I, I,
So they're
I, thi- I
guaranteed
think
together. Yeah.
I think anything between 3 and 7 point difference, you're the fourth seed. Anything above that,
Yeah.
somebody else is getting in.
And remember,
And
the ACC is now in play with the poison pill because Duke's not
Who is
ranked.
it? Duke and who else?
Duke and Virginia. Now, Duke's not ranked. So technically, it's the 5 highest ranked champions.
And Virginia is 16.
5, huh?
As of today, Virginia is 16.
Virginia is the only chance that they have in that conference to get into the playoff. If Duke wins,
Wins, they might be eliminated. Right. Yeah.
no question.
So y'all don't think Miami has a chance?
They're not playing. They're not in the championship game. I don't think Miami gets in that loss.
Even though the way they stumped out Pitt yesterday,
I don't think it matters.
and Pitt, did what they did to Tech.
The committee has said they believe Notre Dame, even though Miami beat Notre Dame head to head, which I don't get. There's a lot of politics in that too. Coach probably knows that just as bad than me. But I think that a situation where they've already justified that they believe Notre Dame's a better team than Miami, and Notre Dame don't play next week, Miami don't play next week. So unless you're going to punish a team that is not in the championship Saturday, which you're not, doesn't happen. So if Duke were to upset Virginia, that puts in James Madison. Because it's the top 5. It's the top 5 champions. It's not the Power 4.
So how would that? So
because Duke's not ranked.
So who would James Madison be playing?
James Madison
Notre Dame
would probably be
Ole Miss.
James Madison would probably be the 12 seed. So if let's say you had Oregon at 5, I'm just throwing an example. They would probably they'll be the 5 seed, and then that would move Tulane up. But if Virginia wins, Virginia probably suits in about 10, 11. So now, the ACC is in jeopardy of being left out the tournament. Because if Duke wins at 7 and 5, they're not going to the playoff because they're not going to be ranked this week.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that.
Crazy to think that the ACC, which is a power conference, but and that's why they'll probably tweak the playoffs even more, because that's going to leave out a Miami. That's going to leave out a Vanderbilt. That's going to leave out a Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say, wait a minute. But again, it's not. Nobody saw this happening that the ACC would cannibalize themselves, but they have.
Yeah. And, a college football fan.
Yeah.
The way Georgia Tech have been playing, you like, man, you may not know if they're going to get in or not, but you would have liked to see.
But again, you got to take care of business against Pitt. Pitt win them.
Well, Pitt and who else? Who else did they lose to?
Well, they lost to Georgia Tech, but that wasn't a conference game. They lost to Pitt, and they lost. I think Louisville beat them. Somebody else beat them in the ACC. But you got to take care of business. Miami, same thing. They lost to Louisville at home, and I think they lost another conference game. So that's kind of come back to bite them. Now, again, I'm to the belief, traditional football, if I beat somebody head to head, I should at least have that upper hand against that team if we have the same record. They have the same record as Notre Dame. Why is Notre Dame ahead of us? And obviously the committee, it's a committee. It's not, they believe Notre Dame's a better team. Now we can look at Notre Dame from a business perspective and say, hey, this is entertainment. We know who's most of these college playoff games on ABC and Disney. So you're not going to get rid of Notre Dame because Notre Dame is a moneymaker. It's a national university, and they have a fan bases everywhere. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to question the integrity, but Miami did beat Notre Dame head to head. I don't care when they played this season. It wasn't last year, it was this season. But again, the rules in place. James Madison will be ranked in the college football playoff. They'll be a top 25 team by the committee, which means Duke will not be ranked, and if Duke pulls off the upset, then that's going to blow up the ACC. So if you're an ACC fan, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to root hard for Virginia because you want to at least have a team in the playoffs. It would be awfully embarrassing for a Power 4 team not to have a playoff team, and that can happen.
Yeah. And then, like even last year, you had Clemson and SMU, and neither one of them was able to play on the road. I mean, both of them had to play on the road,
Right.
and then they lose to Penn State and Texas. So it's just one of them things, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what Selection Sunday looks like, depending on how these games fall.
You got to win your games, and you got to win your games. I mean, you can't. I mean, again, Texas is complaining they're not in the playoffs, but they lost to Florida. You can't lose games like that.
Yeah,
They lost to Florida, but they're lost to Ohio State.
Right.
Like that's one. They were 1 versus 2, right?
Right. And then
I don't know if you can hold it against them for that.
Right. Right.
Right. Coach Stark made a very valid point. The team that was in a national championship last year lost to Northern Illinois.
that's true. Yeah.
Right.
And
That's a very valid point.
Went on a run.
Went on a run. Right. So you're talking about a 3-loss team who lost to the number 1 team in the country, right? The strength of schedule, I think, is in the top 10. Maybe I think it's like number 6 or something.
And they got 3 top wins, yeah.
And they got 3 top 25 wins.
He just upset an undefeated A&M,
And talking about a team who was supposed to get a first round bye.
Yeah.
Right. And you go from being a team getting the first round bye to not even playing in the SEC championship.
Right.
Because remember, Kev, I told you, I was like, this is a trick bag. You got to go to Austin.
You guys gotta look
Friday.
at it. You gotta look at it this way. There's 5 automatics, right? The top 4, the Power 4 normally 5 to 5 champions, right? And then there's 7 at-larges. So that's what you gotta look at it. You can't look at it as 1 to 12. You gotta look at it as 1 is 7. 7 are they gonna pass Oklahoma? No. Are they gonna pass Georgia, Bama? With one of them is going to be that. They're not going to pass Ohio State, Indiana. That's 3. Notre Dame, they pretty much are in the tournament. That's 4. So that leaves what? The group of 5. So that's so that leaves 2 spots. So you got to ask yourself, with the 3, even though they lost 3 losses, and I commend them for playing Ohio State, they don't have to play that type of opponent week 1. It's only 2 spots.
And then we go to them week 1 next year. So
that's the thing. Like, I understand Sarkisian's going to support his team no matter what, and I respect that. But again, it's the way the system works. There's 5 autos, and then now you got 7 spots.
It ain't 5 autos this year because the ACC ain't getting in.
Well, what happened, Coach, is that it'll probably be let's say if Duke pulls off the upset, it's probably going to be James Madison because remember, they're going to be probably ranked this week on Tuesday's poll. So it's the top 5 champions. Doesn't say Power 4. It just say so. Obviously, we know that if Tulane, they say it takes care of business. They play North Texas. The winner of that game is going to be the group of 5 team. But now, because it's unprecedented situation where the ACC wouldn't have a ranked team, Duke's not getting in if they pull the upset off. So if you're an ACC fan, you got to root hard for Virginia, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at right now.
No, I hear you, dog. I hear you. It's gonna be interesting to see, though. It's gonna be real interesting to see what that thing look like, because like I say, I'm just glad I ain't got to make the decision. Because to Vale's point, I might put in Texas just based off you beating the undefeated A&M.
Who do you knock
You
out?
you almost have to.
But who do you guys knock out? That's the key.
Let's look at this again. Let's see. Who do you knock out?
My first thought is Miami is the first to go.
Oh well, yeah,
Miami's not getting in.
that's what
Miami's
I
not
yeah,
getting in.
that's what I being
If
said.
Miami ain't getting in, then it should be easy.
So they should take the 12th spot.
Okay, so here's the poll, guys, from last week. Ohio State is one in the Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. We know they lost. Georgia, that 4. Texas Tech was 5. Oregon was 6. Ole Miss 7. Oklahoma 8. Notre Dame 9. Alabama 10. Now 11-12 were BYU and Miami, but we know 11-12 is going to go to the Group of 5 and the ACC champion.
And you think that's Tulane over North Texas?
I think Tulane wins that game.
No, I'm saying
it can happen. They both losing their coaches.
just well, yeah.
So it ain't. Nobody's got an advantage. The game's at Tulane, right?
And the committee will take both of that into consideration, and neither one of them will go.
Well, the champion will go, and the other one is.
I guarantee you that the champion is going to get left out, and they're going to put Texas in just off GP.
They can't do that, Coach, because you got to have one group of 5 team is guaranteed a spot in the tournament.
So real quick, now
the only way Texas gets in is if somebody in the committee room says all this turmoil, Ole Miss is like they lost their coach, half their staff is out. We're gonna move somebody out, and if you're gonna move somebody out from the same conference, you probably put somebody from the same conference in that spot. That's the only thing of it. Use a poison pen and say Ole Miss doesn't deserve that. Oklahoma, they won yesterday. They're in. Notre Dame, they won yesterday. They're in.
Real quick. Yeah. This is based off everything that happened this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, because what was A&M? They was 3?
They were 3, but they're not
3. Yeah.
So they dropped them to 7.
Right.
So right
but
now
they're going to get a first round home playoff.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs still.
So the top 5.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Oregon, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama, BYU, Miami.
Well, BYU, Miami won't make it, even though they're sitting at 11-12.
So you would take BYU and Miami out for Texas and.
But BYU can play themselves in by winning the league. Now, the question would be this for both of you. If BYU beats Texas Tech and gets the automatic Big 12 at large, right? I mean, Big 12 champion spot, Texas Tech has done enough. They're not falling out the playoff, right?
No.
Oh, no.
So, again, who falls out? Notre Dame?
From a TV money sponsor playoff standpoint, you ain't kicking Notre Dame out.
Right.
You're not doing it.
Right.
But that's one of the reasons why I say they're going to figure out a way to keep Texas in the playoffs.
But Texas was number 16 in last week's poll. So
they just beat the number 3 team in the country.
14.
I agree.
Now they have 14.
Right, I agree. But I'm just saying, if you move Texas in, you got to move somebody out. BYU is not in the playoff. They don't win the champion. They don't win the league.
But like you say, though, you could do that to Miami.
Miami's not in. Miami's not making the playoff.
No, I'm saying you could take them out and put Texas.
We doing all this. Miami's not in. Then when Miami get in, what we gonna say then?
That's gonna be.
How they gonna get in? How they gonna get in? They don't play this week, right?
They gonna figure it out.
They're 12th. That 12 spot is going to be for the group of 5 because you got to put a group of 5 team, which will either be North Texas or Tulane because they play Friday. That's what I'm saying. That 11-12 is just window dressing right now because BYU is not BYU would have to win the Big 12 in order to get in. Now, if that happens, do you knock out Texas Tech completely?
No.
I'm trying to. How you getting?
Do you take so if BYU wins,
right?
Do you take a 2-loss Texas Tech team with a strength of schedule that's subpar?
Right. Agreed.
or do you take a 3-loss Texas team?
That's what I'm saying.
Texas.
Somebody, if in
Just-
order to get Texas, somebody's got to come out. That's what I'm
Just
The
asking.
based
only
off
way
their
you can
last
get
win,
that, basically, you're
I'll take
saying is BYU has to win.
Correct. They got to win their way in. They're not getting the at large. They have to win their way in.
I can buy that.
Miami doesn't play this week, so they can't win their way in. So they're pretty much done. Alabama plays. Now let's say Georgia beats Alabama. Do you still keep a 3-loss Alabama in the playoffs?
Yeah, because you don't punish them for losing a championship game.
Excellent. I agree with that, Coach. Oklahoma won last. They beat LSU. They're in. Ole Miss. Now hit all the drama with Ole Miss. Do you feel Ole Miss? Because like they have that in the writings where if a team doesn't have a certain player or they're not the same team in the regular season, the committee can pull them out. I like what they did to Florida State a couple years ago. So now you can put a Texas in play if you feel the Ole Miss turmoil is just too much to deal with. Now Texas is a bigger name in Ole Miss. In this perspective. So all I'm saying is I got no problem with Texas getting in, but somebody's got to come out. That's all I'm saying.
I think Miami will be the odd man out.
But Miami's not getting in.
No, I'm just saying
Miami not getting in.
Now they're not even in.
No, I'm saying they're currently 12.
Right, but that 12 is just window dressing because that 12 is going to go to the Group of 5 champion. That's either going to go to Tulane or North Texas off the bat.
I don't see a world. I don't see a world where you let a Tulane, no disrespect, because I would love either one of those guys.
Right.
You let a Tulane or a North Texas in,
right,
before you let the University of Texas.
I agree with you on semantics, Coach, but the rules are the rules in 2025. Maybe we'll tweak the rules next year. But
I hear you. And I understand.
I get you. I get
do
you.
Do you?
It has. Then you're gonna have to. Only way I can see Texas getting in is if they say the Ole Miss situation is too much of a quagmire and they're not the same team that played during the regular season. And then obviously, hey, if you're gonna remove one team from the SEC, you're gonna move a team in the SEC in that spot. Now
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen after this day. If you don't let Texas in,
right,
they're gonna get Ohio State off of their schedule. They're gonna go schedule McNeese State, or somebody like that. And all of these games that you see, these head-to-head matchups, are going to cease.
I agree with you
because there's no way I would go take a game
right.
that's going to be a detriment to me going to win a national championship.
Coach, I 100% agree with you. I think it kills the sport because teams don't want to play, especially if I play in a big-time league. I don't want to play teams because if Texas were 10-2. Nobody's having this conversation. They played, let's say, Perryview. All right. Nobody's having this conversation. And I agree with you 100%.
No disrespect to my mentor. He's a head coach there.
Oh, no. Listen, he got a big game coming up next week, too. Big salute to my man.
Yeah.
Start saying Atlanta. He on his way. But I'm just saying that the college football has a problem because you want these schools to play non-quality non-conference, but they shouldn't be punished. Especially a 14-7 loss, you shouldn't be punished for that. I'm with you guys. You know?
Okay. That's what makes this the best time of the year right now, man. Especially for football coaches, football fans, man. We're doing all the speculating, man, but nobody knows. I don't even think the committee knows until it's time.
Real quick. If you can only pick one,
right?
Michigan.
Hell no. If you could only pick one, though, it this is the last and final spot. Would you pick? Say in a hypothetical, would it be Notre Dame or Texas? Because real quick, because like Texas has a big time win. You just had one a couple days ago. You could also say, Notre Dame ain't played nobody. You know, the two best teams you played,
You lost.
you lost.
Right.
Now you've beat up on Syracuse and Pitt and who was they up on 70? Was that Syracuse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
like
I felt bad for Fran that day. Go ahead though.
so. My question, yeah, we all did. I had to relook at it, like God. But if you could only have one, just based on resume, I get, they both got, big pool, whatever. Who would you choose as that last and final spot?
Well, I think you got to add Miami to that because this is my problem. Miami beat Notre Dame head to head.
True.
When it's head to head, and they have the same record. They're both 10-2. So that's the issue I have because Miami beat them head to head. So we just mentioned about playing, competitive games early in the season. Mm-hmm. Miami played a competitive Notre Dame team and beat them, and they're being punished for that. Now, Texas, again, while yes, Texas played Ohio State, they also lost to Florida. And what's Florida?
And I think that's the issue.
That's the hanging
chair. Yeah, we get you lost. You lost to Ohio State, you beat A&M, but you lost in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. You lost in Gainesville. And it was a shootout at that.
Mm-hmm.
That defense, they wasn't doing much that day.
I mean, you played Georgia tough. I mean, that 35-10, it was a touchdown game going into
Georgia got smart, but they started doing onside kicks.
Right.
And whatnot.
That's what killed them, that onside kick. But you lost to Florida. So that's where, like, the validity of the three losses, now it's like, bro, you lost to a 5-17. Yeah, they're an SEC team, but you lost to 5-17. Nobody's talking about Vanderbilt. Vandy just got 10 wins. And nobody's talking about Vandy. They kind of lost in the
who did they lose to?
They lost to Alabama and who else Vandy lost to? I know they lost two conference games. I think it might have been, I know it was Alabama, and then they lost to let me pull it up real quick. No, they lost Bama and who's the other loss? Bama and Texas. Texas beat them.
Okay.
So Texas would have that head to head. But that Florida loss is what's sitting there, like, like I get the three losses, and I get you beat three top 25 teams, but you lost to Florida. If they're 10-2, then we're not even having this discussion. But then again, this goes to the people who say, well, I don't want more teams in the playoff. It's going to go to 16 eventually because you got 16.
I think it has to.
Because you don't have these issues,
But then what if, Texas lose to, Georgia and A&M one year? It's like, well, we deserve to be 15.
If put it this way, if they have 16 teams, Texas is in.
Yeah, true.
With the SEC schedule, they would be in.
But I'm saying, what if one year A&M is 10-2, and they beat you in the season finale, similar to this year,
right?
I think most people, and remember I told you, I'm like that's gonna be a trick bag,
right?
And A&M didn't take care of business, but Texas did.
But Suavo, I got to get moving. I know Coach has a family. I'm glad he joined in because he offered a tremendous insight from a coaching perspective. You need to get him back. We need to get him more on here.
Yeah. I'll hit him.
It is the off season now,
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Big time off season. I'll be in a little bit more.
We appreciate
whenever the kids ain't driving me crazy.
I hear you, man. Definitely appreciate it. Real quick, where do you coach at? Give some of your info out, if you don't mind.
Wide receivers coach over at Lindenwood University, located in St. Charles. We're in Ohio Valley Division I conference. So.
Yeah. Big time ball.
Big time ball. just finished up our first season that we were able to make the playoffs. We made a run for a little bit. Next year hopefully we got a lot of guys coming back, and good job. We got a lot of guys coming back, and hopefully we can make another run.
No, well, thank you so much for joining, man. We appreciate the insight. And while you have some off time and not the daddy duty, love to have you.
Yeah. We're gonna try to get you back on.
Oh
But
yeah, oh yeah. I look forward
at
to
least
having.
before the playoffs start. Peace. For
Hey,
these
I'm
college
here.
playoffs. All right.
I'm
All right,
here. I'm
man.
here. All right, big dog. Appreciate
Appreciate
y'all.
y'all.
Salute.
I'll at you.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, people. We'll see y'all next week.